José Mario dos Santos Mourinho Felix was born on January 26, 1963, in Setúbal, Portugal. His father, Felix Mourinho, was a professional goalkeeper and later a coach. From a young age, José was immersed in football, absorbing tactics and locker room atmosphere. As a player, Mourinho has made 62 appearances, scoring only 9 goals. He has played for clubs such as Rio Avenue, Belenenses, Sesimbra, and Comercio e Industria between 1980 and 1987. However, he quickly realized he won't be making much impact on the pitch, but beside it. Mourinho's mother enrolled him in business school, but he dropped out to pursue his true passion, sports science. He studied at Lisbon's Technical University and began building a foundation in coaching. He was obsessed with tactical details and analysis, famously translating coaching lessons into detailed notes. Mourinho's break came in the early 1990s. After short stints with minor Portuguese teams, his big opportunity came when English manager Bobby Robson was appointed at Sporting CP in 1992. Robson needed a translator, and Mourinho stepped in. Even though he wasn't that good in English, he was able to help. But Mourinho was more than a translator. He also acted as an assistant coach. He would offer tactical insights, match analysis, and training suggestions. His boss, Robson, quickly realized the Portuguese assistant had a sharp footballing mind. When Robson moved to FC Porto in 1994 and then FC Barcelona in 1996, Mourinho followed, gradually earning more coaching responsibilities. At Barca, he worked alongside legendary figures like Pep Guardiola, Luis Figo, and Ronaldo Nazario, while also learning under Dutch coach Louis van Gaal. Mourinho honed his ideas about pressing, transitions, and defensive structure. Mourinho's self-anointed title, the Special One, was not mere bravado, but a prophecy fulfilled through calculated psychological warfare, tactical innovation, and an unapologetic dismantling of football's established norms. But how did all of these started? In 2000, Mourinho left Spain to stand on his own as a head coach. In his words, the legendary manager said, "When I left Barcelona in 2000, I knew there was no way back. I was ready to be a manager." Then the opportunity came, and he started his coaching journey at Benfica following the dismissal of German manager Jupp Heynckes. Mourinho stayed at Benfica for barely a year. Shortly, he took over União de Leiria and led them to a record-high 5th place in the Primeira Liga between 2001 and 2002. His meteoric rise caught the attention of FC Porto, a sleeping giant eager to return to glory. Once he got a deal with Porto as the head coach of the club in 2002, Mourinho wasted no time. He instilled discipline, belief, and tactical clarity. Porto won the Portuguese League, Cup, and UEFA Cup, now known as the UEFA Europa League, between 2002 and 2003 in his first full season. Mourinho's Porto had eliminated Manchester United and Lyon along the way, and his passionate sprint down the Old Trafford touchline after a late goal became iconic. But the next season would define him. From FC Porto, Mourinho began his rise to global prominence with back-to-back European trophies. In 2004, he won the UEFA Champions League, defeating Monaco 3-0 in the final, conquering Europe. His blend of pragmatic defense, rapid counterattacks, and fierce team spirit caught global attention. He was no longer just promising, he was elite. Having assessed his performance within a short time, Mourinho knew he wasn't a learner anymore. On June 2, 2004, Mourinho arrived at Chelsea FC, backed by Roman Abramovich's billions. In his first press conference, he made the bold statement, "Please don't call me arrogant, but I'm European champion and I think I'm a special one." That moment cemented the nickname, the Special One. He quickly imposed order at Chelsea, building a ruthless, powerful team with players like Frank Lampard, John Terry, Didier Drogba, Petr Cech, and Claude Makelele. Chelsea broke records, winning the Premier League in 2004 to 2005 with just 1 defeat and only 15 goals conceded. That was a huge feat for Mourinho. He repeated the feat in 2005-06 season, becoming the first manager in Chelsea's history to win back-to-back league titles. His teams were feared for their tactical discipline and mental strength. Mourinho wasn't just a tactician, he was a psychological genius. He manipulated the media, played mind games with rival managers, especially Arsene Wenger and Rafael Benitez, and created an us versus them mentality in his squads. His players were fiercely loyal, often calling him a father figure. But he was also confrontational with club hierarchies. Disagreements with Abramovich over transfers and style of play led to Mourinho's departure in 2007. But his legend had been written, he would reshape English football. In 2008, Mourinho joined Inter Milan. Italian football, steeped in tactical tradition, was the perfect canvas for Mourinho. In his second season, he achieved the impossible, and that was the treble. He won the Serie A, Coppa Italia, and the Champions League in 2010. His Inter team combined steely defense with Lucio, Samuel, and Zanetti, and sharp transitions with Sneijder, Eto'o, and Milito. The defining moment came the Champions League semi-final against Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, where Mourinho's side withstood waves of attacks with 10 men at Camp Nou. Mourinho celebrated on the pitch in tears. It was a triumph of resilience, intelligence, and emotion. He became the first manager in Italian football history to win the treble. In 2010, Mourinho was appointed manager of Real Madrid, another galactic challenge. His mission was simple: to stop Pep Guardiola's all-conquering Barcelona, possibly the greatest club side ever. It was a brutal, theatrical rivalry. Clásicos became intense battles, both tactically and psychologically. Mourinho's Madrid lost the league in his first year, but won the Copa del Rey in 2011. In 2011-12 season, his team broke La Liga records, securing 100 points, 121 goals, and finally dethroned Barcelona. But conflicts with the press, internal politics, and stars like Iker Casillas led to friction. Despite his success, Mourinho left in 2013, warned by the drama. Still, he was the man who disrupted the Guardiola era and proved he could conquer Spain. In 2013, Mourinho returned to Chelsea, calling himself the happy one. He rebuilt a new core comprising Hazard, Costa, and Matic, and won the 2014-15 Premier League and League Cup titles. However, the following season collapsed amid dressing room discontent and public criticism of the club doctor. Chelsea's form nosedived, and Mourinho was sacked in December 2015. It was a shocking fall, but he remained revered by many Chelsea fans. In 2016, Mourinho joined Manchester United, aiming to restore glory to the post-Ferguson club. He won the Europa League, League Cup, and Community Shield in his first season, United's first European trophy since 2008. In 2017-18, he led them to second in the league, their highest post-Ferguson finish at that time. Yet again, his blunt criticism of players and the board led to conflict. He was sacked in 2018, but his quote lingered: "Finishing second with this squad was one of my greatest achievements." Mourinho had short stints at Tottenham, 2019 to 2021. From there, he took over as Roma in 2021. With Roma, he made history again by winning the inaugural UEFA Europa Conference League in 2022. That was Roma's first European title in over 60 years. He wept as fans chanted his name. He became the first manager to win all three major European competitions: the UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League, and UEFA Europa Conference League. By so doing, he solidified his legacy as a born winner. José Mourinho is more than a coach. He is a symbol of charisma, conviction, and controlled chaos. He redefined modern management with 4 key elements. 1. He had mastery of game plans and could control his matches. That's tactical innovation. 2. He had fiercely loyal squads who would go as far as he wanted them to go. That's man management at its finest. 3. He won trophies across 4 major leagues. That's a winning mentality. 4. He could turn press rooms into battlefields and make football dramatic, personal, and theatrical. Love him or loathe him, Mourinho carved his name into football folklore not just through victories, but through the fearless, fiery personality that made fans believe every moment was war. And that's why, from Porto to Rome, from Stamford Bridge to the Bernabeu, he will always be the special one.